What is up, everyone? Pittsburgh White Schwartz coming at you with another year-end wrap-up, this time for 2024, and looking forward into 2025. I have quite a few guests on the call this evening, starting with my Strictly Broken teammates, Jason and Kevin.
Hello.
Hello.
We are also joined by the full suite of The Clock Tower, Colton, Brandon, and Braden.
Yo.
Hello.
How's it going?
And Aaron from Ohio White Schwartz, the Shorts extraordinaire.
Ohio. That's not a greeting. That's just where I'm from.
Very funny.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to sort of go through the usual, starting with sets that came out in 2024 from beginning to end. And then I also have a cutoff in here for Springfest. We had Spy Family, Chainsaw Man, Lyco Reco, Saikano. Is this finale? This is the last one, right? This is third.
Yeah, it's Cena.
Yeah.
And Bochi, and then Ruby Premium. And then that was the last BSF. Although Bochi was not legal for most of them, I know France was pushed back multiple times and was sort of like the outlier. Most events ended early July, and I believe Bochi was not available for most of those. Is that correct?
It's good for France.
Yes,
you played in
because France
And
had
then
the
Ruby's in the
pushback.
same boat since it came after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, France had the Olympics and the election, so they
Yeah.
pushed back like quite a bit, like over a month.
Yeah, I know that it was pushed back quite a ways. And then in the second half of the year, we had Shauna, Love Live, Ayakashi, Hololive, both Ambassador and Summer Collection, Oshinoko, JoJo's, both Stardust Crusaders, and oh my god,
Stone Ocean.
Yeah, Stone Ocean. Dengeki Bunko, probably the most completely out of left field release we got. Actually, no, that's not true, because we got Macross Delta at the end of the year. About another Love Live compilation set, and then, of course, Freerin. Freerin was the one with the new box ratios. We were talking about that before the call started. But other than that, there was no box changes. Was that there's only Climax rares? What exactly was the exact change for that?
So they changed it from 18 box to 24 box. They removed one card per pack. They reduced the amount of packs. I forgot how much. So then the box prices are cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's no more Climax common, only Climax rares.
Okay. All right. So nothing too crazy. I don't think it affects the overall ratios per case in terms of play sets that come out of it.
Did fuck it up. That was like because of that. Now you're not always guaranteed.
Oh,
full
okay.
placement Things.
Oh, okay. All right. That's news
I remember
to me.
there being like something where people were molding about it. I don't know exactly. but I
No,
remember
there shouldn't
it
have been
being-
any like on top end. The only biggest change is you lose like 300 comments in a case
So-
now.
So I remember
That
when
will
they
not
did
be
this.
missed.
When they did this in Japan with Blue Archive, you were supposed to be guaranteed 3 play sets from 2 cases. Effectively, you did not get 3 play sets from 2 cases. We were actually notably short on things.
What wasn't it? Because
Okay.
Blue Archive was a 15 double R.
It was 15, but at 15, 2 cases get you 3 play sets.
Oh,
That's how it
okay.
had been with every other 15 double R release that opened.
Oh yeah,
I
I
think
think Agilent
Agilent was also
6 of
15,
each
right?
double R at 15.
Yeah, and we did not get 6 of each double R.
GG's.
Yeah. it was
So
pretty
let's go around the table, and we'll just go in the order of the Discord call here. I think that's static for everybody. So Aaron, what was your favorite set that came out this year in English?
Oh my gosh. I did not think about this in advance.
say Freerin?
I mean, honestly, probably Bochi. Like, it's just such a consistent set, and I have a lot of people at my locals that play it. So, also, I like Bochi. So,
Yeah, Bochi's pretty good. Colton?
Probably Spy. I
Bye.
like it. There are a lot of things you can do with it. There are several different decks you can build that are fun in a casual environment, and you can take it in a lot of different directions. So I like that. I also really do like Freerin mechanically.
Yeah.
I just think it's a really good set.
Yeah,
Well
Freerin
designed.
slaps. Competitively, my favorite set is Chainsaw Man. My favorite actual set is
Oh.
Macross Delta. Because Macross is fucking sick. I love that set so much. Most fun deck to play in a long time. They finally did it. They printed something unique that's very fun. Brandon.
My favorite was Dengeki, just because of the number of different things you could do with it.
Yeah, Dengeki is a cool set. There's actually a lot of decks in there because of the 2 trial decks. They have a lot of
They're
extra
all about
cards.
the same power level too.
Mm-hmm. Kevin.
I'm also a Bochi gamer.
Not
Fucking
Psycho.
Damn, he
Fucking
didn't say
traitor.
Psycho.
Wait, not
huh?
Mikado?
Traitor.
Yeah,
Dude,
what a
Psy-
traitor,
Well,
dude.
I maxed that deck in JP. I
Yeah,
didn't
and-
play it in English.
And it was still
And
painful.
everybody will tell you. Fide fucking sucked.
Oh wait, no. Sakana was the saver
all
set
I
from like 2
said.
years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the set came out a long time in JP already, so I'm like no chairs for it coming out in
Bochi.
English. But Bochi's a good deck, and I love that IP.
Jason's favorite is Freerin, so we can skip
I love
him.
free Rin.
Braden.
Fuck you too.
If you had anything else to say about it, go ahead. But I know,
just think free Rin's good. People
Yeah.
sleeping on it. Deck is good, and deck will stay good.
yeah, it's one
we
of
love,
those.
We love Marine-esque top ends.
It's like
Yeah, it's
unlike
power.
Danmachi, it's a deck control deck that doesn't rely on beating down boards to like be a threat.
Well, it's like it just has cards. Like
Yeah, it has
Danmachi
good
doesn't have
cards.
cards. Danmachi had Bell and Pyongkichi.
That's
This
it.
has actual cards that contest board. It has 2 different finishers that are both fine, but like one is notably better, especially better in English with like the hexproof. I think like that us picking that makes a lot more sense than Japan picking it because we have Overlord and
Yeah, true.
Hollow Life still having tap counter, etc.
Yeah, but Japan has Crayon Shinchan.
They do have
Yeah,
Shinshan.
they do, but they also don't play that deck.
Wait,
Yeah,
that
it
deck
is pretty
actually
rare.
popular
No,
now.
that deck does
No,
well.
the
but
Pan
it's-
standby deck is like
Yeah, you know,
becoming more popular.
that's like low play rate, high conversion deck. It's not a deck you're like, actually expecting to see a lot of.
Probably.
But,
There was
like-
at least one at Nats.
There was 2. There was 2,
Two?
and one of them was my local. Yeah,
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
Dan. Shout out to Dan.
my
right.
local was the one that did well.
Braden.
Yeah,
I just realized I bought 6 sets after
Crazy.
Springfest.
Oh my gosh.
Ayakashi is probably my favorite that I'm looking to play with more
Ayakashi.
but I need
yeah.
before that happens.
if Freeman didn't come out, I would have said Ayakashi.
Ayakashi's a cool set.
I love Ayakashi. 8 standby is so fun.
It's
I
nice
got
that
you,
there's
it's
2
pretty
decks
sick.
you can build, 2 competent
Yeah.
decks you can build.
I think
on
I
one
think
set.
8 standby is notably stronger, but yeah, I agree. Any
This-
deck where you can get multiple meta decks is like a good set.
Mm-hmm.
Or meta relevant, I guess is the better way to put it.
All right. Well,
Cards didn't even
this
say
was
Chandra.
like a slide of things we liked. Let's talk about a slide of things we hate. These were sets that are either out or coming out in 2025 that you're not allowed to play. I'm guessing at least 95% plus of our audience is not able to play these. So we're just gonna say you can't play them. So that's Marvel Premium, Pixar, and all of its trial decks. I don't know about you guys, but this stuff makes my blood boil, especially the freaking demo caravan that went to like a billion different
All
countries
Asian.
across Southeast Asia. Some of them occurring on different days, which means all of those had to be staffed. The amount of money and development cycles that's going into these is like, quite frankly, really, really disgusting. I know why they're doing it. Obviously, this makes them a ton of money because people are just going to like import fish for these. Because that's the whole reason they're
mean-
doing them. It's like a weird side skirt of the licensing that they print them.
Yeah.
They only release them in Southeast Asia, and then people import them into the U.S. and Europe and other territories. But I don't know. What's your guys' overall take on this? Because I have my whole like tweet about that where I was just like, I think these are going to be wasted development cycles. I think until we get through all this stuff, we're going to have dead air in every reveal stream until we get through it. And we're just going to have to suck it up and get through it. I don't know if anybody has a differing opinion.
I
But-
think it's Smoj, but at the same time, I don't care about these sets. I think they're all really shitty. Like in like a competitive perspective, I think these sets all do literally nothing.
Bro, Buzz Lightyear?
Yeah, overhyped card.
Yeah.
turns out.
Yeah,
But
none
I
of
don't
these
know.
sets
Like,
do anything.
I'm sad for the people that would like to play Pixar
Yeah,
and
me.
Marvel because they like them, but you can still do that at a local level and own the cards in a readable language. So like, you can't play them at a Springfest or whatever. But that's like anybody that owns Japanese cards, I feel like shouldn't really care too much because it's just
Yeah.
another way to own the cards in a language you already couldn't play cards in.
Yeah,
But
it was already
mean, I
Arby's
don't know.
locals.
I think this was a really cool way to get new people in because like they're really popular IPs that would be popular for like
Good
some
pick.
different demographics of people that aren't normally into like some of the anime stuff for Weiss, but the fact that they can't get it is just like a wasted opportunity.
I mean, you can get it pretty easily. It's just a little bit more expensive because there's like obviously an import premium.
I mean, like, I
Yeah.
don't know. Did your guys' LGSs stock these? That was a question I
No.
wanted to
No,
ask.
you
No.
can't get them, right?
Yeah.
No,
I-
you can. My
They're
locals
technically not
asked, and they
allowed
just
to.
said, yeah, you're not allowed to, but they could, and they just don't want to. So I don't blame them.
Yeah, I think that's my only problem is that like these are not coming into the LGS, so you can't have random card game players walking in and be like, "Oh, there's
Yeah.
Marvel,
But
there's
you-
a
but,
Marvel
like,
set
you-
of Weiss.
But you can't.
What is a Weiss Schwartz? Oh, they have Marvel. I want to play it." They have to go out of their way to find out about Weiss to find out about these cards even existing in Weiss, which is the sad part.
I will say it's unfortunate if you wanted to, if you are a store that does want to stock it, if only because every time you sell this to somebody, you have to literally look at them and be like, by the way, you can't play this at a competitive event.
Yeah.
So it's like, that is pretty smooch.
yeah,
I mean,
I
it's
think that
very cool.
I think that the fact that we don't get the street traffic effect for these at all is really bad in the West. You have to go out of your way on TCG Player to acquire
At
it.
the same time, can you actually expect Bushi to own these, to like pay
No.
for this licensing? Like,
Oh, absolutely not. Well, I don't even
Disney
think
is so
I
disgusting.
don't think Disney will allow them. Like, especially with Wizards snapping up Marvel and things of that nature. I don't think it's ever going to be possible for these to like be distributed via normal distributors to your card store. So
I'll
just
call
kinda
And to
is
be
what
fair,
it
I think
is.
with these cards, you know, with these IPs showing up in MTG and eventually likely Lorcana, like the pool is diluted enough so that even if Weiss got these, like there are so many people who've already purchased it or would purchase it for MTG or Lorcana before they bought it for Weiss. So I don't even know if that would even I don't know how much this would move in a world where these sets already exist in other games.
I think it moves because Weiss still has one of probably the best designs for like card designs for foils, to where their foils are very good at accentuating the art on the cards compared to a lot of these other games. And like, because we look at all the people that bought Marvel in Japanese just to collect it because it's Marvel.
Yeah.
They announced
Right.
D100, the Steamboat Wooly.
I know so many people. They're going to announce the 100. It's basically guaranteed, I think. I think
Yeah.
the only one we might not get is like Mirrorverse.
Yeah, I
But,
think they're gonna burn a dev slot on like literally every single one of these until they're
I
done.
don't think we get Mirrorverse. I think that's the one they skipped.
Mirrorverse we probably don't. I think it's a little too niche.
Cards look because the cards look ugly, so people
They're
don't
so
want to
ugly.
collect them.
They're gross,
like,
dude.
Like it's also a dead game. The game died.
Yeah, you can't even play it.
Oh
like-
wow. Wait, yo, just
Yeah,
like the
Mirrorverse
review
is
game,
out of
bro.
service.
I also part of me also believes that Zori never got D-side in English either because the game died.
Damn,
Cool.
English D side.
No, that does not affect me
good.
at all.
Yep.
Not at all.
That's my little
Oh,
tinfoil
no, I'm
hat.
so
Game
sad
died, so
when-
they didn't bring it over.
I'm so sad we'll never get D-side.
Princess Connect.
Yeah, Princess Connect. That's another
Ooh.
one. Crunchyroll killed it. Unfortunate. Princess Connect's still a fun set to crack out sometimes.
It was a pretty good game too.
Yeah, I had fun with it while it lasted. All right, on to a more, I guess, slightly neutral topic. This was a restriction list that we got this year. The only restriction list update that we've gotten over this year. This was the Gura Limit 2, with Luna and Mio being put on a choose list to stop the shark from swimming freely. A comment that still makes absolutely no sense. Limit 2 on Aki, as well as an additional limit on the Himeno package with
JP ban list.
Easy Revenge. Yeah, just a port of the JP ban list. Deserved. And then absolutely the total dunking of Sokka as,
Goodbye.
yeah, that card should not exist. I've been on that platform enough, so we won't waste time on that. What is everybody's general thoughts on this ban list?
Unban
Overall?
Kaguya.
Please hit
No,
slime again.
Unban 8 Standby Hololive.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
He
know
literally
why.
did nothing wrong.
It's
Unban Dal.
Johnny went XO with him.
No, we don't.
No,
unban that.
Kermie will stay there as a reminder forever. That's just how Bushiroad operates, even if it
Please hit slime.
doesn't do anything.
Hit slime,
So yeah,
hit
slime
SBN.
needs dunked again.
Are we talking about? Are we talking about the next ban list now, or are we talking just?
I
about
mean,
this ban list?
just about this ban list. We can.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think
we-
for this ban list, it was good. overall. It was like
No, I think for this ban list, we all saw what was gonna happen, and it
Bro, they
ended up
forgot to
happening.
hit slime.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
forgot
well,
to hit slime.
Slime
We saw
probably
this ban list. We saw
deserved
the
it,
meta where
but-
like SES slime are definitely just gonna be the
Yeah.
top dogs in the meta, and that's exactly what
Then
happened.
it's kind of funny though that SDS, despite being called like a top dog, isn't actually performing as well as people said it was going to. It's just
Well,
like a
it's
fucking
still
Swift
topping a
menace.
lot. It's just
Yeah.
It's still
not
topping.
It
converting to
always
top
sneaks
four
into
as
top.
often.
It's not as converting
That's
as
like
much.
pretty bad though. It's become a Swiss deck at that point, right?
Okay, but it still has
I
top.
know.
and it
It's
has
still a
movement.
cringe deck.
It
I
was only
think
a
in a
meme at
best
the
of one,
beginning because the first 3 tournaments, like the first 3 or 4 tournaments.
I got into
That's
this
not-
with Ken on Twitter a little bit ago, where he was like, "Sins isn't converting into top
It still
threes,"
doesn't
and
feel
I'm
right.
like, I don't know.
Cringe.
I think it's a little bit of the like OS mindset where they only have like 2 events their entire season, so they like really value a deck's ability to like just completely go XO if you have enough luck on the day and you like play right. And like Sins is very consistent at getting into Top Cut, which I feel like over here where we have a lot of events, that's something that we generally find a little bit more valuable, where we're more willing to go to more events on a deck that consistently makes it to top 8, top 16 every single time. And then once you're in there, you know, are you the luckiest person that day, despite everybody making all the right plays? You know, you're willing to
funniest thing
travel
is,
a couple more and roll the dice a couple more times.
funniest thing is, since only BCS win is in Melbourne.
Yeah, it is very ironic.
Yeah.
I remember that popping up. I was like, I wonder what Ken thinks now. Slime dodging the ban is like ridiculous. This like Shizu Murin ban, everybody knew this wasn't going to do almost anything. It just made the deck have a couple more variants.
Wait, was Shizu Miran banned this ban list?
That was last ban list.
That
when
That
it
was the
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
ban list, yeah. It was
Yeah.
just a holdover.
That was the
Yeah, well,
best
it-
before
That's
Worlds
because
last
everybody
year.
was still playing. Because this was the point where everybody was playing standby, and then much to my, you know, bitching and moaning, everybody actually did move to 8 pants for the most part. Where obviously there's still some people playing standby, but I think most people.
Most
hopped on the
people
8
have
pants train.
moved to 8 pants one way or another. I think the only
Either
thing
that or
on
the salvage pants, yeah.
I think the only thing on this list that like really threw people for a loop was like the pre-ban of Luna Mio.
That
Is
was so
like
stupid.
why
No,
it's like
Yeah.
Johnny goes
Mio
XO
was
at one
banned,
event and then he
bro.
loses his deck forever.
Mio was never banned to begin with. Mio's still completely unrestricted in JP. It's so stupid.
Yeah, that deck can't function without
Like
Mio.
I hate the fact that JP has a harsher Hololive ban list and 8 standby can still see play there.
yeah,
and it's
harsh.
still-
Because they love
Yeah,
it.
no, that deck is still alive, dude. Like,
Okay.
they-
Like it has a more restrictive ban list.
yeah,
That's
isn't it like
better
you choose
to say.
one of 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a fake.
Now,
choose
can they
one
run
five,
Mio
right?
back?
But
They can't still run Luna
they run Mio in
yeah.
every
For
deck that is an 8 standby still because that card is just good.
Yeah, Luna
Yeah.
Mio is so
Yeah.
viable. They just can't
Like-
play the field swapper, the tap counter, or the Amagi, Folk Amagi.
Yeah. Which is like it's still all of those cards still hurt like a lot, but like 8 standby still gets to be played. It's still a deck because it can still do its like thing. But like this ban list, like even talking to like Johnny, like this list, we both just agreed like it's fucking it is actually as bad as we were saying it was when it happened, and everybody was like, no, it's gonna be fine. No, it's not fine.
Yeah,
Mio
it's
was
not
literally
fine.
like the sole card that enabled this deck to do the thing it does every game that it does it.
Everybody was like, "Oh, Callie's gonna be enough." No, Callie's not enough. They played Callie and all those other cards.
Yeah,
like
no,
Callie was
Mio
gravy.
was such a broken card, and I fucking loved 8 standby Hololive, and I actually probably, if the deck wasn't banned, I probably would have played that this format instead of Overlord because of how much I actually like 8 standby.
It's
Yeah, I
super
would've also wanted to
consistent.
play it.
It's also frustrating that we don't get a whole season with this deck. Like it got
Yeah.
banned before it had a chance to even do anything at a regionals level. Like it
It
just
did well at like a couple events in fucking
Yeah.
trios, man.
yeah, like
Yeah.
what like if you're a player who is interested in this, very cool, very fun, very, skill intensive interactive deck, and then you see a restriction, you're going to come off it.
Yeah,
Like there are a lot of players who probably would have picked this up who have decided to shy away from it because it's
Yep.
on the restriction list. And I get it.
unban Kaguya,
Women.
fix the fucking Alice ban. Like completely incorrect. Like I don't know.
Oh yeah, that Alice ban is so funny.
The Alice ban is the most unfortunate, one of the most unfortunate things on this list. There's no reason
Yeah.
for an Alice limit 2. It is
I agree.
it is the dumbest
Especially
thing
after seeing
possible.
these other decks that people are playing with
Sal-
Alice and stuff, and they're just fine.
Sal's already in such a hard spot by not having the 10th anniversary cards, and then you just kneecap it even more for no reason. Should have been banned 1-0, move on with your life. You should have been always able to play the Alice 2-1 as it stands. They obviously are fine with Muron. They've let it stay for 2 fucking years.
I
Like-
really think
Like,
ideal world, we unban Slime and just ban Muron and move on.
yeah, just ban
Just take Shizu
Muron.
off the
That's
Let
list.
so
everything
fire.
go.
Yo, I'm
Yeah.
So
down.
fire.
Yeah, go back to
update
memory,
my
bro. I'm
easy
just
deck.
gonna keep
Yeah,
playing slime.
memory
I'll
is
just
back.
keep playing slime
What I
forever.
Either that has to happen, or they gotta choose list they had to add like the stock soul and the hexproof, or the stock swap and the hexproof to the choose list. Those are the only 2 ways I'm okay with this.
Yeah, slime needs
But-
dunked. I don't think anyone's in.
But I'm down with
Back to
Muron
my
just being banned.
pants
Let
book
people
deck.
go play other decks. Like put Muron up. Let people go play like more interesting things than Slime.
Do we
Yeah,
think
I wouldn't say Pants book was that interesting.
before
No,
we-
I wouldn't say that deck's interesting.
I like
but
the
Oh,
it's
no.
standby. It's
fucking
standby was
Muron.
sick.
8
It's
standby
fine.
Play it.
didn't really
deck
have
was
a
fine.
chance before it got like
No.
power crept, but okay. So before we move on, do we think that there is going to be a mid-season ban list?
Yes.
You
I
think
pray.
so?
Probably.
Yeah,
Mm.
that-
It would be like a
I'm
mix of
I'm
I was going
I'm
to
suspecting
leave the
February.
is the meta stale question for when we get to the tier list, so we'll hold off on that. But I think everybody wants a mid-season ban list. I think everybody's sick of slime. At least I
And
got
it's
my Houston
the
run
format's
in.
been no different, man.
Yeah, the format's
true.
been exactly the same for way too long. Especially now that like Atla and 8 Standby Hall, I've never got a chance to play, as well as
Speaking
Chainsaw
of
Man.
Houston,
Chainsaw Man never made it.
Yeah, Chainsaw Man only
English.
survived trios.
I think Chainsaw Man English is still fine. Didn't you see a top
It's
this year?
fine. It's
Yeah,
It's
perfectly
all
fine.
it's about 4
or
tops.
something.
Yeah, it's still
has-
totally okay.
It has
There are
like
2 decks you can play that are both
you can
fine.
still play Stock Soul Bar like the way Japan does, and that deck is perfectly fine. It's like a very serviceable 1k1, CX Slam deck. Because I think that 3 power is a really cool card. And then you can play like the 6 choice 2 door thing. And that deck's also fine.
Yeah,
6 choice.
it's
Whatever it was,
Chainsaw won
six, three, four, yeah.
Austria and came second
Yeah.
somewhere else.
I
Yeah,
honestly
fine.
think that 0/0 power is better than most
Yeah, yeah.
sets.
Yeah, that card's broken.
That card is so good.
Like I literally I played against my local playing that deck, and he's like, because he was like testing to see if he wanted to play it for Philly or not, and I'm just like, he's like trying to be all cute, and I'm like, I looked at him, I'm just like, just play the deck, like it's unbanned, it's the same thing.
Yeah, just
Nothing
play
has
it. Just
changed.
play it exactly
Your
the
finisher
same.
is just worse. Just play the deck to be a good deck, and then he starts doing that, and he's like, oh yeah, you're right, and I'm like, yeah, I know I'm right.
Yeah, you're not gonna get as many. You're not gonna get all 4 easy revenges. Like you just accept it.
That was the worst
Yeah.
part. He only got 1 easy event, so he's like, I can't do anything. I'm like, it doesn't fucking matter. I
Yeah,
can't deal
just-
damage to you. You have
yeah,
14 stock. I don't have stock swap.
You have
bro.
14
Yeah.
stock. I don't have stock swap. You get like 5 stock every single turn. I think
And
you'll
you're not
be okay.
triggering.
Yeah, it's I think it's fine. All right, I think we can move on. One of the big things that happened was there is tournament restructuring. I have only NA up here, but this applied to every region. We have an extended season for BCS, now going from October all the way to March with Worlds in May.
Is that extended or is it just delayed?
It's extended.
No,
Is it actually
extended.
longer?
It's extended. It is
Okay.
longer. It is delayed and goes longer. Where previously we would start as early as September or sometimes late August, and
Yeah, no, I remember late August being, because I remember going to Toronto in late August.
and we would end with Worlds in January or early February. So we have extended quite a ways.
Yeah, we're not even gonna be halfway done.
I, for one, love this. The unbelievably ridiculous turnaround between travel these past
Yeah,
couple of years
I
for
agree.
BCS was the most like mind-numbing, grinding thing. As well as just being like financially straining. Traveling within North America for people who may be watching from Europe or other places where it's easier to get around. You just like straight neg to go to these events, even if you top every single time. It costs so much money to travel. Even if you split housing in ridiculous 18-person Airbnbs in not so great
Hey,
areas,
yo.
right, Aaron? It's
Oh, so
e-
cool though. I
even if
slept on
you
the floor.
even if you do those kinds of crazy things, it still can start to tax you. So the extra amount of time where I get back from Houston, I was like, oh, I have like 3 weeks before the next regional. That's kind of nice, as opposed to being like, I'm in Toronto this weekend, and then I'm in Chicago the next weekend, and then I'm in New Jersey the next weekend.
I was fucking exhausted from
Yeah, super
between,
exhausting.
Houston to Philly was just like exhausting to me because it was just 2 weeks. I'm just like,
Well, we also had holidays in between, and holidays upcoming.
yeah, Thanksgiving, like
yeah.
when we come back Thanksgiving into BCS 2 weeks later. I'm like,
Mhm.
jeez.
Well, we have an okay break, assuming like all the East Coasters don't go to Canada
I'm going to Canada
from now until February. Are you?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
I
for
go to Canada every year.
Not for
I go
Vancouver.
to Toronto every year. I don't go to Vancouver.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I mean. No, for Vancouver, yeah. So
Vancouver's
like,
for
assuming the
Canada.
East Coasters skip Vancouver, then at least we have until February.
No, if you want to go to
Yep.
Rosemont, I'm not going to Rosemont.
But yeah, overall, what are everybody's thoughts? Clock Tower, you guys are like smack dab in the middle of the country. What do you think about this this change? Positive, negative, neutral?
I like it. I'm a fan. I also, because we have more events now, don't we? Haven't there been more events?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
they
added
in
some
our-
events this year. We have Tampa.
added
Yeah,
one to
so-
Florida and another
Yeah.
one in NorCal.
So I'm a big fan. Like for me, I'm in Michigan, so I can get to Pennsylvania and Illinois pretty easily.
Yeah, same.
Ontario's not too far. So yeah, I mean I like more opportunities to play. I like more worlds invites. I like the longer stretch between events. I think this makes sense. I just don't want them to destroy trios for this.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna
Yeah,
say too. The
losing
only thing is
trios.
now
I'm
we don't
afraid of
know.
trios.
We
Like,
don't
if
know what's
they-
happening with trios.
Because I think trios is the most fun format we have.
It's so good.
I love
Like I just think it's
trios.
really really fun. It's you just show up with something you like to play with a couple of your friends, and you get to play a bunch of other people who are also just kind of there with their friends. You
It's
can
so
play stuff that's more
beginner-friendly.
off meta. The expectations are not as high, but you still get to travel and you still get to see people, and you get to you get the benefits of a competitive event without necessarily the stressful parts and the frustrating parts of the competitive event. So
I think
I would be really, really sad if trios went away. Like that is my favorite event cycle of the year. So I'd be really sad if we gained some singles events at the expense of trios. I think this is a bad change.
I feel like we're still gonna get trios. I really.
I think so
do.
too.
Rebrand Summerfest.
I
Yeah.
think there's just
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, they don't have to
there's
change the
just no
acronym.
way they leave 6 months unaccount, or I guess 5 months unaccounted for.
It's-
That'd
I
be
sure hope not.
lame.
Also, you got to remember that Japan pushes trios so much harder than we do,
Yeah, Japan
just in
fucking
general.
loves trios.
That
No, I love
there
the
is
Japan
no
format.
way, there's no way that Bushi overall will let them cut
You
back
know how
on
fucking
trios.
cool it was to see, like, to go to Kyoto and see that they run singles and trios at the same exact time, so you get to just pick what you want to play, and like both of them still have fucking insane turnouts.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have blocks. That's the insane thing. They have blocks.
Well, it's good. It's because they dedicate. They care. Voice is their game
Mhm.
in Japan, so like they dedicate the entire. They don't split all their Bushi games like they do for us. Like they just dedicate the whole day to Weiss. It is just Weiss, and it's trios, singles, and title cup.
Yep,
Mhm.
all at the same time.
And that is so sick. It's
mean, we're
so,
starting
it
to
was
run
such a
into-
fun environment.
We're starting to run into like occupancy issues at our singles too, though. Like that's
Yeah,
the thing.
they limited. I know you couldn't come, Cole. And I was sad we didn't see you actually. I asked Brayden where you were, but they limited singles in
Yeah,
Philly.
people
They
got waitlisted.
because there was
Yeah, there
too
was a-
many Vanguard people. They capped us.
Wow.
Yeah,
What was the cap?
190 something.
190.
192.
Yeah.
Wow.
They literally was like, because for whatever reason, and no flame to Shadowverse, right? But they decided to put Weiss and Vanguard Standard, which are their two currently most like participated games, on the same day. Philly Shadowverse did apparently have a lot of people though. It had like 150, but 150 is still not 196 with a wait list.
198. was Philly.
188.
198. Yeah. I just double
with the
checked
wait
on
list.
Weisty
Jeez.
time. Shout out to Avis.
So
Great site.
we had a lot of people, and if Carmen, he saw there was a lot of people actually waiting outside that wanted to play. Broderick
Yes.
got waitlisted because
Roger got
he fucking
waitlisted,
changed decks last minute and
Yeah,
got
my-
waitlisted.
Yeah, my TO
Wow.
got waitlisted. The person that booked our whole Airbnb.
Yeah,
he was really
he
pissed
was
off.
like, I forgot my deck, and then he was like, okay. Ohio Brandon was like, okay, you can borrow my Kanatamari, and he's like, fine. And then I was like, wait, Broderick, I have Sins. It's probably
Yes,
not
he
exactly
drops.
your build. Just take it. He's like, okay, I'd rather play that. So I like track Broderick down. He's like outside. And he's like, bro, I'm waitlisted. And I'm like, what? And I was like, all right, well, here's the deck. If you don't play it, like, just come find me and it back. He ends up going top 3. I end up having to get my deck back like
Good for him.
later. But that was almost pretty scary.
Yeah,
like
it's
people
just-
getting
was
waitlisted.
just
out
so
of
Yeah,
the
a
event.
guy that was
frustrating.
top 3 almost couldn't make it in.
Like why?
Because yeah, I play both games. Like I play Vanguard as well, and it's like not being able to play standard. I had to play premium because I don't play Shadowverse. It's
Well,
like
I mean, that's everybody's problem, right? That would be the problem for people playing Shadowverse that want to play that wanted to play premium or whatever, right? That's always going to be a problem for some people.
that's always
I
a
just
thing,
think
but it's
you know what I mean. The cringe part is just why are the two most popular games the same day? It should be the split between the two popular, unpopular. If you want to keep Vanguard on 2 different days, I get it because you're sharing. Sometimes they share a player base a little bit.
I
But
think
like
it
it really
might,
should be.
It might
Go
be
ahead, Kevin.
because they check like regional sales and see maybe around Philadelphia, Shadowverse sells more than Weiss, so they assume
Dude, we
Shadowverse is
have-
bigger.
That's because
We
there's
have-
They
nothing
don't
to buy.
expect
Kevin,
how much people
Kevin.
travel.
We have the same
there's
deck
a-
from 2 years ago, still
Yeah,
doing good. Of course, we're
Kevin.
not buying new cards.
I'm gonna be honest. We like the amount of Shadowverse locals in this general area is low.
In Philly,
Like,
I've known. Yeah,
yes,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah. It's-
assuming.
There are
Shadowverse
not
on
that
the
many
Shadowverse on the
locals
East
around here.
Coast is
There-
very, very minimal.
There are people.
I
There are
mean,
locals.
even at
there are
ours,
people.
we're considering
but-
cutting new orders of Shadowverse because our player base isn't buying enough and they're not playing enough.
Yeah, like it's not high, and like so to account for travel and be like, oh, well, people just travel to Philly. Yeah, sure, I guess, but at the same time, that game should be on. Like, just give Weiss to Sunday. Let us be with premium so we can maximize space, and let Shadowverse, which has on average a lower attendance, has had a low attendance at every event compared to Weiss. I don't think it's beaten Weiss in attendance once. Let them be on the Saturday. Like I prefer Saturday. Don't get me wrong. It was really nice being on Saturday, but like having less people play is cringe.
Yeah, I don't know why they did just change because I saw that when I was making all the events on the Discord. You just randomly swaps between Saturday and Sundays between Shadowverse.
Yeah,
and Weiss.
Yeah, it was a little
like
strange.
Houston was Sunday, right?
Houston was.
I know
Sunday.
they're doing it again too for either Toronto or Chicago. It's one of those two. Or they're doing it again.
Yeah, I'm
Chicago's
not
on
exactly
Sunday.
sure.
I think
Toronto's on
Toronto
Saturday.
is on
Toronto's on
I thought it
Saturday.
was Sunday.
I know Toronto's on Saturday because I have to call off.
Oh, that's
Who's
so
excited for this problem to get worse when Hololive comes to English? The Hololive game,
Please no.
which is also a Bushido
Oh,
game.
we're getting Godzilla
Yeah,
instead.
Blue
so
And
don't
Quinn.
worry
Godzilla
about it.
game.
No, I'll get Quince too.
Yeah, Quinn's game.
We're not getting Quint, I don't think.
No, could you
wouldn't-
imagine like trios, like one deck is
game's actually
Hololive,
pretty
one
cool,
deck is
though, man.
Quince, one deck-
Yeah, you have to play
Yeah,
3 different games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they increase.
Yeah,
the
Hololive.
patch
I don't know what
users.
they're gonna do.
I
I don't know what they're gonna do with
What's something
Hololive.
for Vanguard? The 3 different formats.
That would be really
Yeah.
funny. You have to have one person play Vanguard, one person play Weiss, and one person play Shadowverse.
Honestly, I would be all for make some of the events like that. I don't care. Like
chaos trios, dude.
yeah,
Well,
Be very funny.
that sounds like fun. Let's do it.
All right. Well, moving on, there was one other big change. They changed Top Cut. This was a long time coming as
This is
events
awesome.
started to get bigger.
Yeah,
and
thank God
bigger.
for this.
128 or fewer, top 8. 129 to 256, which has been every regional in North America so far, is top 16. And then 257 or more, top 32. We haven't gotten to that one yet, but I wouldn't be
I
surprised
think it can
Yeah,
happen.
that's 'cause we got
if
waitlisted.
California
Cali?
happened.
So
Yeah.
Cal will hit the
I
number.
standard Vanguard. So
Yeah, so
Yeah, I mean, Vanguard has also hit that fucking number.
Yeah, they hit
in
like
every event.
500 in Philly.
I
we
am
don't care
a,
about Vanguard.
I am
We're
a
Weiss,
big
that's
fan.
cool.
I am a big fan of the
Big
top
fan.
16
I
cut.
don't think there's a single person that
Mhm.
should hate this.
Yeah.
Like,
No, this is like awesome. Like
There
there
are,
are so
like-
many people that were so close for having like the same record.
There are like tinfoil hat theories that I read out there on the Discord of like how this could possibly be worse and like these random niche scenarios, but overall it does make for a better
The-
Swiss to top experience.
those are the same people who thought Florida State shouldn't have gone to the college football playoff last year. So we don't listen to them because they're wrong.
Okay, yeah,
What?
makes sense.
Oh my God, sports.
I know, right?
Yeah, Colton's big on sport.
That's a Canadian.
No.
I don't know what just
But
happened.
this is just beneficial in every way. It helps them cut down rounds. Like it helps us get through
Yes.
stuff.
Yes, yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Less Swiss rounds.
just-
This in combination with the app has made the tournaments run so much smoother.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bushinami's actually been pretty good for that.
it's
Yeah, shout out
funny.
to Bushy Navi actually like not
Ye-
being terrible.
Yeah,
People say
even
that
like a
Bushi
long time
Navi-
Bushy Navi.
Like Bushi Navi has its shortcomings. People complain about it. Like they complain about using every TCG app ever, but it could be
Yes.
worse. You could be using Bandai's app.
You could
Ban-
be using Vandal.
Bandai's app
No,
is
Bandai-
worse, like by a considerable
Bandai's app-
margin.
The one local I would go to for One Piece, literally, like, they'd have to keep apologizing because they're like, yeah, our Bandai app just doesn't work. We don't really know why. And we
Yeah.
tried calling them, and they don't do anything about it. So, like, I'm just
Wow.
like, oh, fantastic. I'm so glad.
That doesn't surprise me.
But there's still
Bandai's
so many One Piece players. though.
unbelievably disorganized. You think
The game
Bushiroad's
plan.
disorganized?
Yeah.
Bandai's even worse.
But yeah,
No.
I don't know. Like, Bushinavi's good compared to the old days of the fucking paper slip.
Just a paper
judge-
slip.
judge.
The paper
Oh.
slips were so cringe.
What?
Now
But
you just have to look at your opponent and be like, can you approve the results, please?
Yeah, I'm like, hey, shake my hand. I'm gonna put the win in now.
yeah, I hope they start using
No.
Bushinavi for WGP as well. Like going up to Rochester and having that, it's kind of like a sidebar. Having to go
That'd be
back to
pretty
paper
nice.
slips was
The
Those are
only
some
thing
long
I
rounds.
want to see, because everything is flowing smoother, I would like to see 5 more minutes on the timer. That's it.
I do
For
think
Vanguard
we are getting. I
I'm
do
good.
think we are getting some
35's pretty
decks.
good.
35 is
Yeah, I
pretty
don't need
good.
40 minutes.
We're not having issues, but I do think that we are getting more and more decks that benefit from like taking games long on compression games and like not going for it until the last possible second. 5 extra minutes would really help those decks shine a little bit, knowing that you have a little bit of extra wiggle room. But I think 35 is fine. I'm not going to
Argument,
bitch.
just-
I'm not
just
going to
play
bitch
I think
about it.
35 is a good
I mean,
number.
yeah, I've never had an issue with time ever. But
I'll brag about it.
I play Overlord. I can't. I literally can't have problem time. The game's over for
It's
one
like,
of us.
I know,
pretty
like,
fast.
My third round at Philly, I played against Clinton, and like he just canceled early in the early game, and I sat on 13 clean stock. Just told him to stock swap me, but he didn't do it for like 4 turns, so we both canceled, and we went to we almost went to time. It was
I think
like
once. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I had a
once
similar
Slime gets
experience.
banned as a Sora player, I'll have a great
I don't
time.
know. If I'm playing
Yeah, give me more time.
if I have the balls to ever bring Macross to a regional and I'm in the Macross like the
Just
fucking
no.
Goldilocks zone and I'm just fucking triple canceling every single turn, the last thing I want to do is be
play it in
forced to go
Toronto.
for it
Yeah,
early.
you have to mill your deck every
Oh.
turn. You have to shuffle.
Oh,
every
I'm not.
turn, and
I'm
then
not going to.
triple
I'm not
cancel.
going to any more events, brother. I'm retired for the rest of the
Macross
season.
is a pretty. Once you get your whole setup, it's pretty straightforward. You do the same thing.
Macross also loses to
It pretty
itself
should be pretty
sometimes.
That is true. Sometimes you're compressed and you're like, oh, that's only
You
3
just fucking
climaxes. Guess
explode.
I lose. But yeah, overall
Macross-
positive change.
I
I'm 100% in agreement with Colton on the like. If you don't think this is good or like there's some niche scenario, you got to consider all the positives.
sneaky.
You got to consider all the positives. Top 16 cut is so much better.
Agree.
All right, moving on. Sets coming out in 2025 that we know about. It's really not that many. It's Quint's Premium, Nikkei, Blue Archive, P3, Rurouni Kenshin, and Albuta. I believe this is the order. This
Yeah,
might
no,
not.
Nikkei's much later.
Wait, no,
Yeah,
Nikkei's
Nikkei's
April.
later.
Nikkei's after.
I know Rurouni
P3.
Kenshin is after these, which is
Nikkei's after P3 and Bunny Girl. So Nikkei's I think Nikkei and then Moroni, right, are the two
okay. So it's like
last ones.
it's like
So,
this.
well,
No, just read it left to right, up to down.
I don't remember if it's Moroni.
It's like this.
It's.
I really like this live adjustment.
I think Blue
Something
Archive
like
is also
that?
before Blue Archive is before
It's
Albuta.
Macross,
Yeah,
Quince.
Okay.
So
Blue
Quince comes out,
Archive.
and then it's Pixart, and then
Heh.
Blue
Wait a minute.
Archive.
Oh yeah, you're forgetting
Persona,
some sets, bro.
Buddha, Marvel Premium Booster, Nikkei, and
Oh my
and then
God.
Kenshin.
Move it up. How do I do this again? Order.
Just swap
bring to
P3
front.
and Albuta, bro.
They change the fucking hotkeys on me all the time.
You gotta swap P3 and Albuta.
Yeah,
P3
swap
and
P3
Alberta. Okay. Oh no.
Come on, man.
Okay. Come on.
Swap the
Ah.
actual proper order.
Yeah, I'm so bad at my job. Can't even make his stupid slideshows right. Typical PGH
I think
Schwartz.
this is a really good filler.
Okay.
I think this is good. I actually think this is a pretty good like set release coming out. If I'm being honest, I'm a big fan.
Well, my issue with these is that 4 out of 6 of them are complete like DOA absolute waste
Okay.
of time.
Oh, wait.
It's only
Whoa.
Okay,
Huh?
two and a half.
Yeah.
Wait,
Wait,
what are
what?
the DOA ones? Wait, Carmen. What are the DOA ones?
Blue
Are we talking
Archive.
about
Blue
Marvel?
Archive.
Archive is
P-
totally playable.
P3.
What?
Wait.
Blue Archive, P3, and Rurouni Kenshin, in my opinion, are DOA.
Okay. I'm gonna say
Okay.
Blue Archive is
no.
so playable.
I think Blue Archive is a perfectly good set. It's not a meta-defining set. It is a very solid set. A lot of people are very excited for it.
Yes.
Well, they love the card. They love the mobile game.
Yeah, sure, but that's fine, right? It's not DOA in the
Yeah,
same way that
there's
like
no
something like Saikano was DOA. Saikano
Okay,
was not only a bad set, but that was a set people didn't even give a fuck about.
I
aside
should have
from the
caveated
very few
it.
people.
I should have caveated
Like-
it with like
like,
top
meta-wise,
competitive
it's-
meta wise,
like,
yeah.
But Blue Archive still sees
Blue
play,
Archive will
and
still
like,
convert. What?
it still succeeds in Japan.
Yeah.
I understand
Barely.
Japan is a slower format, right? Yes, it does. It still sees play. I still see people playing this deck. I still see it. It's not like winning events.
What, like
sure.
Hifumi? Is it
But, like-
still Shiriko Hifumi?
It's just Hifumi, yeah. It's always Hifumi.
Yeah, bro.
It's
He
always
such a
Hifumi.
good combo.
But why would you play Hifumi when you could just play Ichika?
Because you like Blue Archive.
Well, because
Yeah,
yeah,
so
well,
I can
the
put
argument
you,
is that
so I can put you directly on a list.
well, I mean, the
Not
argument
me,
is that
not
Hifumi
other people.
is just really big, and non-CX finishers pretty good. But,
Yeah, it's
I mean,
because
yeah,
Mika,
Mika. Well, my
And you
Mika's
also
never
have-
hit anything, so
you also have defensive counters. But
that is true. You do have the
I don't
defense.
know. I think Blue Archive is really fun. I don't think it's the greatest set in the world, but I think it'll do fine, and people will play it, and people will be happy. It's when I compare that to like DOA sets from like the last like 2 years.
Yuka
right?
EP is a hell of a drug.
That card's broken.
It's not
Yeah.
as DOA as Magia record.
Yeah, P3
Bro.
also. I will agree. Meta wise, fucking terrible set, but like it's Persona 3. It's gonna sell.
People are
because
gonna buy.
it's Persona 3.
Yeah, like most of these should still sell pretty well.
I think every.
Oh,
set
I don't
here
think any
sells
of the.
well.
I don't think any of
Who-
these are
who's
gonna have trouble
actually
selling.
I don't think there's a bad selling set on
Wait,
there.
who actually likes Kenshin though?
The
A
boomers.
lot of boomers.
Oh, Kenshin.
Boomer.
Kenshin's really popular.
Is it actually? I see
Dude,
like no
dude,
one
I
talking
know
about it. and,
so
like,
many. No, no. Here,
anime
It's
forums.
because
I love
people that like
Kenshin.
Kenshin don't use Discord.
So many people
Or Reddit.
bought Kenshin. Like
I
there was
bought
a lot of
Kenshin.
people that
It
even
was-
in like when I just went to New York for WGP, the people that I was so shocked how many
So many
at that
people on
WGP
Kenshin.
were playing Kenshin.
Yeah, and Kenshin converted
like,
too.
Wow.
Yeah, Tony got a top
that's
8
crazy.
or top 16.
Yeah.
People are
I
playing
think he made
Kenshin.
it to
That's
top 8. I
insane.
can't remember.
Yeah, but that's just also just like a fine 1K1 deck. It's not anything to write home about. Like obviously that the all stars in this of the 3 are Quince, Abuta, Nikkei. Nobody's gonna really argue that. Even if my opinion of Nikkei is kind of souring the more and more I play with the set, but
Nah, that set's gas.
it's okay.
I can't.
Yeah,
believe
I should have
that.
caveated it with like top meta. I'm only really looking
Yeah,
at
at
like
the tip top of the meta.
Albuta,
Sure.
Nikkei, and Quince Premium. And Quince
I think it
Premium, the
is-
reason I gave it the
I
half
think
is
Chris
because
is
it's
very
like
diversitive.
it's like 2.5 decks out of 5.
I think Miku will still be confident in English.
Yeah, I feel like we'll see a lot of
Each guy will
Miku.
be confident if Slime gets hit, and then Nino is gonna be a good deck.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
each guy
like
really
all
needs
5 are playable. It's just that
Muron to be no. Ichigo needs Muron to be weaker.
Yeah,
It
Ichika's power
I
is
think it gets walled out
directly.
by current Muron.
Yeah, she's a mid game deck and she gets really bullied by.
But like at 10-5, she can kill Muron.
Yeah.
So it's like fine. She kills Muron through counter, and they can only interchange one of the lanes. Where like that deck can actually like reasonably double triple EP because of the stupid shuffle back stupid bullshit.
We'll get into the sets that we want to see in the end wrap up. But all right, here's the slide that everybody wants to talk about. We aren't going to be doing a full tier list today, as you could probably tell by how much we dug into all the other slides, because Kevin, Jason, and myself did this a while back where we really exhaustively went through everything that was both currently out and that was upcoming, and that hasn't changed. And we put together a very extensive list of notes as to why things were placed where they were, their strengths, their weaknesses, pros, cons, etc. That will all be linked in the description as well as the original video. In fact, I'll just link the original video. You go to that, and then the notes will be in the description of that video. So if you want to dig into exactly why things were placed where they were, but things really have not changed, I think, at all. Does anybody have any like major sticking points with this?
We dropped both the Hololive decks that already door. Put those fucking
Bro, where's Mume? Where's Mume?
It's right there.
No. I'm saying like in the actual results, there's one Mume top, and it's the Philippines.
Yeah, we were being very kind to that deck because it was very hype. That deck's fucking.
Yeah,
no.
That's dog. Put it down.
That deck would go down. Kana Tamarian would probably go down to B.
Wait, was this our post?
This was our post. This was the post premium booster. That's why.
This is post premium booster.
That's why the Quints are in there.
That's why. Yeah, all three of those Quint decks are so high. I'd probably put those down. I'd probably put Freerin above 8-door Hololive. I think that deck is not only just seeing like a lot of play out of the three regionals that's been allowed in now. There was so much in Philly.
There's so much Freerin.
It was. I understand. It was also like the new set, right? So people were
based on results as well. We might have to move Ruby up. Standby choice.
Yeah. I'd be okay with putting Ruby up. That deck was actually like performing.
Ruby was a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't change too much about this. I'd probably just swap Freerin and like maybe put 8-door Hololive a little bit more down, drop the other 2 Hololive decks down, and then
drop Overlord down.
Thank you. Please drop Overlord down. Someone had to say it.
I think it's better than every other deck in that format by like a country mile.
It needs to win. It needs to do something. It doesn't.
Sorry.
It's my favorite X2 deck.
You can make the same argument for Gura.
Well, that's
no, because Gura's bad.
Guys playing
okay, I think Gura's dead. I think limit 2 over
that
the
deck
course,
is giga fucking mid, man.
Over the course of 11 rounds, the limit 2 will cause you to lose games that you otherwise would not lose, and that is my issue with Gura at limit 2. You will inevitably lose the card.
In comparison,
death gripping it will gripping it will make you lose games, or losing the pieces of it and having to pay them out or move them in some way will make you lose games. You cannot have that kind of liability for 11 rounds and expect to do well.
If we're going result wise, then Overlord is the 3rd highest topping besides Itsuki.
Okay, that deck's fraud. We all know it.
Itsuki is a fraud deck.
It's so low on this list.
Wow, crazy. Overlord's performing somewhat relative. I'm down, man.
Well, it's like it has 7 tops versus the next highest after Itsuki is 4 tops.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Bye.
But yeah, I mean, like realistically, right?
It's
whether
like
you like Overlord,
tie.
you hate Overlord, I still will always say it's one of the top 3s because Overlord is the only deck that does what it does and warps the decks that are allowed to see play because it exists.
Yeah, I think it's the meta warping factor because it makes playing. I said this at the beginning of the season. It's mostly slime. I said this when we were making the tail. It's mostly slime that causes this.
Over SDS.
It is mostly slime that causes this, but Overlord is the second consideration. It makes every other mid-game focused deck less attractive to play. It makes Kanata, like Mume piles with Rushia, Ichika, not really, Nino, not really 8 pants because the card's hexproof, like 8 pants, AYT. AYT 8 standby Ayakashi can rebuild their board and actually get big enough to like beat Muron. So it's like
Bochi has to play a tech card. And
not
lose.
Yeah, Bochi has to play a tech not to lose. Ruby can't go full into 8 standby. It has to like flex with John because of these decks like Muron that like command the board. It can't like start playing for board like it would against most decks in the mid game. That's why it's like mostly seeing a lot more success with choice in the early game because it can actually shove and like kind of modulate its game plan. I think when these decks are good, they warp the meta below it, and that these other mid game strategies that are on the nose very strong vacuously make you not want to play them. So Overlord deserves that spot based on that is like my take, but
I think we've had 3 straight metas, spring and fall, where Overlord's top rate was below its representation rate. And it's the only deck that people keep saying is elite, that does not top at a rate you would expect for a deck with its representation in the meta.
Well, okay.
Like
I-
it doesn't top enough and it doesn't win enough.
I
I'm okay.
don't
Like people, it's a
disagree with
good
you.
deck, but it's not S tier. Like we've got to get it off the S
The
tier.
decks, no, because the
I
deck's
don't disagree
hard
with you, Colton,
to
on
play,
results. But yeah, I'm getting to what Jason's saying here. I don't disagree with you based on results. But do you know what deck also had middling results, but everybody acknowledged was a problem? Atla. Outside of like myself and Brian from Strictly Broken and NA, who was actually touting that deck? Steve from Toronto. That's like
I mean, the
it.
EU people are all
British
wrong.
Well,
The-
I said in NA. In NA. Who was
NA,
putting up
sorry.
results?
Yeah.
Who was actually
The
putting
tops
up
with-
results?
I mean,
Like
The tops with Avatar were on their way. That deck
I mean,
was growing
Atla-
in popularity by the week.
it was growing
If
in
they didn't
popularity
hit
by
it,
the week.
It
but
would have been. It would have generated those results if they didn't hit it.
I don't
Like, it was-
agree.
it was-
for one specific reason. But go ahead. I'll go finish your
It-
point. I'm sorry.
I'm just arguing that it's that deck or that ban was more or less preemptive before Avatar really picked up all of its steam. Like it was starting to like it had entered popular consciousness, and it had only really been the people who pay a lot of attention had known about Avatar for a while. The rank and file were just starting to get into Avatar when the ban came down.
didn't Avatar get 2 places at Worlds?
This is gonna
It
sound.
came third at Worlds.
It came
It
third.
came
at
third,
World.
and it got like top 8, didn't it?
I think that top 8 is the one who got third.
No. There
Like,
was.
Or was there
Was
another one? One of the SG
it
players
was.
played Avatar. I know for
I
a
might be
fact.
mistaken, but I thought it was. But yeah.
But
Uh,
my point is that
my point is, if Avatar was unbanned right now, it would be getting the same results that we see with Slime and SDS.
I disagree based on my lived experience playing the deck and playing against people playing the
I
deck.
think that deck was actually like pretty hard.
It
I'm
was
not
going to be
lie.
it was going to be exactly the same thing as Overlord, and there was going to be
I
a
think it would've had
legion
better
of
results than
Atla
Overlord.
deniers, the same way there would be with Overlord. I do think it would be lessened. Jason's right, because it is still a like 1K1-ish deck at the end of the day that you can struggle bust through playing quote unquote normally. However, to win with that deck, you had to be so much better at it than anyone gave it credit for. That deck is unbelievably difficult to play. That is like the hardest experience I've ever had playing Weiss, like piloting that deck. There was always something you could have been doing better because you had a drawer no other deck had to play out of. And I think that there would be a lessened but similar legion of Atla deniers as we have Overlord deniers. Because the deck is legitimately hard. When I sit down across from this is going to sound really dismissive and gross, but we're far enough into the video, whatever. If I sit down against an Overlord player that I don't know by first name, I assume I'm going to roll the ever-living fuck out of them because they don't know what they're doing. Like, just straight up. That deck is legitimately fucking hard. If I don't sit across from Jason, Hagen, people who I know, like people who I know have grinded the ever-living shit out of this deck, who know what they're doing, I don't fucking care. I am going to disrespect the ever-living shit out of them. And it hasn't
I agree
failed me
100%.
yet. It hasn't failed me yet.
I agree with that assessment 100%. And that's why I think Overlord is in the A tier, because you're not going to see it more than once in Swiss in a way that matters. Because there are a dozen
I can
Overlord
get
players
that.
in the entire world who can actually win an event with it. I think at this point. And I think the number of Avatar players who could have done that is significantly higher, in part because I think a lot of players would have come off SDS and Slime to rock with Avatar this season. I think a lot more people would have seen the high ceiling potential of Avatar and jumped on it, whereas Overlord's been around for a while. So if you're on Overlord, you've either been on it for a while. Like, we don't have a whole bunch of people jumping onto Overlord now. Avatar hadn't had its big moment where other good players were going to jump on it and grind it out and figure out how to play. That's also one of the reasons it wasn't getting those successes, is because it was still in, like, not necessarily the tinkering phase, but in the people need some time to get good at this list phase. And I think this season is when it would have absolutely shown out. because I think the
just gonna-
timing would have come out correctly for it to be dominant right now.
So I'm just gonna say, Avatar had very clearly already been picked up during trios. It was one of the higher numbered decks in trios at 33. So people were very clearly aware of this deck. I think even going through events, whether people were good at the deck or not, that deck was still very scammy, mind you. So it would probably get wins off the nature of that, just because you could sometimes just accidentally oops your way into a win off of Zula and Sokka's and play the rest of the deck like a fucking dog. Right.
Yeah, you could absolutely just trip into 7 extra attacks or some shit.
Even against, I played against 8 standby in trios at Toronto. Not even the guy was bad, but the dude literally just scammed me into fucking killing me by triggering 6 standbys in a row. And like, okay, dude, you got it. Like, sorry.
Yeah, no one
But,
can stand up to that level of extra attacks.
I do think to say that people are not moving to Overlord in this format is definitely not true. I think people have moved over to Overlord. One of the Houston actually had like a pretty decent amount of Overlord. And a lot of people made it decently far, all things considered. I did see a lot of Overlord have to play against each other in like rounds 5-ish, 4-5-ish, which is pretty unfortunate for the actual like total people playing the deck. But there was definitely quite a lot of them. I unfortunately got scammed out in the last 2 rounds, which was pretty unfortunate. And I probably should have made top 16, but I didn't. But Overlord has still made it topped in 7 of the 10 current events. Right? Like it is seeing representation in the majority of the events now, which is like, if you had told me this in 2023, like it didn't, right? But it's seeing more play, and it's starting to like do better, which I think is something to really account for.
I think the thing that makes Overlord so much harder over here, I've said this before on a couple other casts, but never on this channel. The reason Overlord had so much overwhelming, consistent success in Japan is that anybody who's played there, anybody who's played in Japan will tell you, they play the early game slower. They stand there, look at each other, and if they don't have full resources, they literally clock draw pass. It actually happens in competitive events where people have bought in, win a case tournaments. I have literally sat there and watched it happen. They play extremely passively early and just extremely slow, very, they want to have resource-heavy games. They do not want to accelerate game states, even when it's favorable for them to do so. We can all acknowledge, as people who play in North America, that is not how things go here. Do you know what deck does really, really well when people play a passive early game, and it is much easier to play under those circumstances? Overlord. Overlord, when you have a passive early game, and Jason will back me up on this, you have a so much easier time when the game goes slow early. And it is not funny how much easier the game goes for you when you get even 1 extra turn.
If I get to take 2 turns at 2, and I have like a Cocutus on the board, I'm like fucking. I mean, that's literally what happened against me and Brandon. Me and Brandon played a game. I sat there. I got to take an extra like 2 turns at 0, and Brandon had to like try to scam stock swap me to play the game because it was like I had like that much of an edge at a point.
Yeah, and that's just not the kind of game you're going to get more often than not playing in the West.
Yeah, that's why the strength of Overlord is like the actual gap of the people that can play those games where it does get accelerated because you have to accept that it's going to happen is so much further in view. I think it's a lot easier to play the deck when the games are slow, for sure. Like anybody can play out of those games. That's like what I think Simu, if anybody watched Simu's video, that's kind of what he talked about. Where like if the game is slow, you can actually just win the game just riding the Ainz Express and just letting the deck pilot itself. But then over here, I think it's decision making is what really shines, and knowing how to play through those games. Obviously, they're still going to happen where you get rushed and you have to play out of it. I think Carbon and I had basically that game.
Yes, the game just
and
went fast.
That game, I still think I played it properly. I don't think I did everything right, and that game literally came down to I just ate 8 off the top, and I couldn't do anything about it. My deck was good. I refreshed well. I just ate an 8. And
yeah, I didn't even expect to kill him. I was just like, this is my only line. I have to do it.
and it's just like unfortunate.
Yeah, and that's
Like,
just
I
kind of
had-
how
I had
it
to-
one of the big
goes.
things here. I think one of the big things here is if, especially if we're looking at this, looking at the potential ban coming through, that potential ban is probably going to hit SDS and it's probably going to hit Slime. Those are the two that we most expect that would come through in any kind of hit. If both of those are hit, I think that still leaves Overlord in a
Yeah, I mean,
stretch
Overlord needs to
above
be
a lot
there.
of the other stuff. So like,
I really think
it,
it's true though.
so I
I
think we
agree.
have to leave it there just because if it's not hit, it definitely will end up being there.
Because it just says, right?
The
Because the
reason I
power
like
level of
the
Overlord.
It's just
Sorry.
because it's a deck building concession that you have to make whenever you're making any other deck. You got to sit there and think about, all right, what's my slime, what's my SDS, and what's my overlord. It's like
You
I
never
don't
think
sit there and think
about
about
My
my
Shauna.
choice.
You never have
What's my
to think about
I
your
have
SDS matchup. That would
no,
never
I sit there
happen.
and think slime, overlord, and if I even have something to do against seven deadly, what do I have?
The only thing you can even
Yes.
do against 7 Deadly is like, does my deck have a way to sit at 7k for free? Okay, well I
Yeah.
don't. Who cares? Like that's all you can actually
Yeah, like,
do.
I don't know. When I genuinely, I'm as somebody that I really like Bochi, I really like Freerin, I really like Ayakashi, I really like 8-Door Hololive. Like I like a lot of these decks that are in the A tier. And while I do like Overlord a lot, I have my problems with Overlord. I think Overlord is a deck that's rife with its own issues. When I look at the decks below it, I still think it is just like a notable power jump from those decks because its ceiling is so high. Its floor is a little lower than some of them. Sure, I mean that's just a problem with the deck. But like even like the average game, its average game is just better than most of these decks and what these decks are doing. It's not really fair. And it's a deck that I still stand by. Whether people like the deck or not, the deck needs to be banned. Like I want that deck hit because I don't think that's a deck that should be around in English, whether you think it's good or not.
I think
The
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 way
fact
that it affects everything else.
And the fact that I have to say that makes me want to keep it in S tier because I think it's so stupid that I have to sit and be like, this deck that doesn't perform as well as I think it should still deserves a ban, just like the other two decks that are overperforming.
I think Overlord single-handedly gatekeeps like half the standby, like what half the standby decks would be out of the format.
Or any board based deck, really. I think that it's just like
That is
Overlord
slime
makes playing for
X
board
smile.
and a liability. But
That and slime.
well, overall,
Yeah.
outside of that, I think we hit like on the big points there. What we would do.
I mean, I don't think anything below A tier needs to change really.
Yeah, no, I think that's fine.
Maybe besides Ruby goes up.
Yeah, I think we
That deck- that
standby
deck's-
choice Ruby can move up, and I think we move down the Hololive decks.
I
we'd
think
probably
A-Door
call
is
it a
still A
day.
tier though.
ET
That
can
deck's doing
go
pretty
up.
well.
Nah, I think you guys
No.
Ayakashi goes down.
moved
Yeah, I
Revy
think-
Starlight up.
No.
Hey,
mean,
by Akashi goes.
Ben
I think
keeps
Shauna
putting
moved
Ben
up.
performs.
Well, Ben.
No, I don't think Shauna moves
Ben
up.
is
Shauna's
like, bro. If we
Shauna's
have darkness on here for one person, Ben is our one person for Revy Starlight. Absolutely,
No, screw
Yeah,
you. I'm,
he's there.
I'm
That sounds
playing it now
reasonable to me.
too. There's two of us.
But,
all
no,
two
okay.
of us. There's
Real
there's
talk.
fews of
So-
us. There's tens of us.
I heard Shauna should go up. Shauna is bad.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
get
that
out-
deck
let's get
that
out
deck
on the
sucks.
record right now.
I was so
Riaz
upset.
won that event and then went on to literally tell us he won that event off knowledge checking people that did not know what Shauna did. People actively misplayed into him and just did not play around his deck or have cards to play around his deck, and he won off of that. He did not finish people with finisher. He said, I won most of my games vanilla swinging and winning off the back of my opponent could not play their own deck because the UG existed on the board. So his Hololive opponent literally played a double leveled down his UG, and then leveled down his level 3 afterwards. So he put the UG back on the board, and his opponent just went, "Oh fuck, I messed up," and he lost the game on the spot because of it. Like that's not a good deck. That's a knowledge check.
Yeah, I could tell you that it did not go well for me. That was
and then
Shauna's miserable
they-
ability to not recover is so
for real,
miserable.
if the games that does well are insane. The games that doesn't like triple cancel at 2, unplayable.
Yeah,
game.
you lose. You just lose.
Like even Riaz, I think Riaz pilled a bunch of his locals onto the deck at Houston, and they all just scrubbed out of Houston, like terribly.
Even Riaz is sitting on the bottom tables in Houston.
Yeah, like
Shauna.
Yeah, even
It was
Riaz
just-
doesn't like it. So
it's so stupid. Like I like Shauna as an IP, and I think the deck is still fun to play for what it is. But I'm not gonna look at this and be like, this is a meta deck. Like this is
Yeah.
a contender.
if I could have played Macross, I would have, but it was locked out. Rip.
Yeah.
All right.
and I had Shana.
I think we can move on unless anybody has any outstanding comments. No.
Ban list, please. Ban list, please.
Keep going.
All
Yeah,
right.
please ban list.
So the hopes and dreams slide. I think their number one hope and dream, we've already talked about it. I'm just gonna make a list here. Mid-season ban list. Mid-season ban list. Everybody wants it. Meta pretty stale. Same couple
It's okay.
decks.
Ken made the article. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, Ken made the article.
It's done.
Ken wrote the article, so they're gonna copy paste.
Please don't
Yo,
copy paste.
I've heard rumors that Intern Kun is working on a ban list.
Okay,
I believe
good.
him. And
I believe Intern Kun.
Intern Kun, just watch this video. Just ban Miron.
Just ban
everyone a
Miron.
favor.
This far.
Look at Japan. Look at the fact.
Yeah,
that
see
these
that they're
people are
still playing it.
slime.
They're still playing slime, bro.
They're still
Like,
playing
yes,
Miron.
it is not
Slime
the
is
same. It is
still like
not. It's
still
not
like
to
a
the
top
same
tier
success it
five.
was pre-ban. The deck is like just a good deck, but it's still seeing so much play.
It's still,
I don't
it's still
even think
a
the deck
top 5
is-
deck in Japan.
Yeah, I don't even think the deck is like that strong. It's like just really good, but it works really well into what JP is right now with like fucking Shiny Mass and Nino and these like slower decks. It's just right at home. Just get rid of Miron.
No,
I don't
actually,
wanna see it.
the biggest thing about slime was it's good into. It's
good into those decks.
Uma,
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it is good into Uma. Yeah.
because Uma cannot answer Miran at
All right. New sets that we want.
Eurocamp.
All of them. All
I
these
think
releases
Eurocamp-
are really
I'd buy
good.
that.
Really good.
I'd buy that immediately.
ReZero3
For sure.
is like
I mean,
a
I think it's
lock.
guaranteed, right?
Release memory.
I think GGO
Although-
Premium is pretty safe, I think.
Like,
Oh yeah,
Really
No,
nice.
no, GGO's not a premium booster. It's a real set, isn't it?
No, it's
It is like
premium.
an EB.
It's a premium
It's a-
booster.
But it has
premium.
rarities.
Mm-mm.
No, it's extra booster. It's
extra booster. Extra
Yeah,
booster.
it's not a premium.
Oh, GGO
It's
extra.
it has
Extra
rarities.
Extra booster. Okay.
Bro, it's been so long since we got an extra booster.
Dude, they
I know.
got Arya
Like-
EP. Can't be
Wait,
bad, dude.
like-
That card's cracked.
And like, what else
Extra
do we?
booster. We got extra booster earlier this year.
What else do
Yeah.
we think is a
Yeah,
lock here?
Azure Lane 2.
the
Azure
Bunko
Lane
set.
Azure Lane 2.
Azure Lane
actually
2 is
don't-
going to be
I
a
don't.
super strong
I don't.
set.
I don't
and
know
huge.
if Fujimi 2 is a lock. Like that.
It
That's
is.
sold. I think that set sold pretty poorly.
I'm gonna do this.
I don't know if they wanna bring
Locks,
that back.
locks,
And wishes.
maybes, wishes,
Yeah, Fujimi 2.
maybes,
maybe.
FGM 2.
My wishes. White Shores Rose.
Oh no. no. Yeah, can we have
Easy
Blau?
soft thing.
But yeah, I really do.
Where's that English exclusive?
Oh
true,
yeah,
Wishes
yeah.
is exclusive.
Please, an EN exclusive.
But can I just like say though, like decks like Eurocamp have actually made me
I'm not putting
So
Rose on
happy.
there.
yeah. Like I am so genuinely happy with Eurocamp as a set because it feels so good to be allowed to play a deck that has an on reverse combo and isn't just bad and I'm not just griefing myself for playing it. Like it's actually just good.
I mean, yeah, it's one of
It
those
makes me
sets
so
where,
happy.
like, if you resolve one, you're not even in a bad spot. If your opponent,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I watched-
absolutely tries to grief
Like you literally can resolve one and it's fine because like the actual card, like the loop of that deck is also just so cool because it's one of those decks that gets to play in like a little bit of a different way while still being like a Weiss deck. It's not like Macross where Macross is playing this like fucking side game, but like it still plays just different enough that it feels really refreshing. Like when I play games of ReZero and I'm just sitting there looking at my opponent as I'm fucking looping Stakuta 8 times and they're just fucking moaning and bitching Carmen.
Yeah, me.
Huh? Oh yeah.
Um,
When you start looping Stalkada, I actually started falling asleep. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, can we please
Like,
get to my turn?
But like I'm playing Eurocamp and I'm sitting there like, yeah, attack, look at top 2, rearrange, oh stack my brainstorm, alright, trigger my brainstorm effect, top 2 rearrange, stack my blind stock, stack my Rico. I'm like, this is
Do we think Eurocamp
This
is a
is fun.
lock? I think Eurocamp is more of a maybe.
It's
I
a
think-
maybe. It's a
Eurocamp-
maybe.
I think
it's a popular
Even-
set.
I think
Gio's
Oshino.
not even-
I think Oshino Kotu is more of a lock.
Yeah, Oshi's
I think
a
I don't
lock,
even
bro.
think GGO is a lock at that point. Then if you're gonna
Dude,
Yeah,
play,
I don't think
Eurocamp-
GGO
Bang Dream's a lock. Let's be real.
I think
Bang
these
Dream's
extra
lock,
sets,
but that's
Bang
not
Dream
that's
will
not part of our
absolutely be
hopes
lock.
and dreams.
What is the BD?
Yeah,
What's the
that's
new
not
BD?
BD?
realistic, right?
Bang Dream is not part of our
What
hopes and
what is
dreams.
the new Bang?
Mygo.
Mygo?
It's
Mygo and
Mygo and
Av
Ave.
Luchika.
because we have
What
we
is it?
have the Mygo
R's what?
BD.
AVE.
AVE.
ABE.
Ave
V.
Ave
Ave
like Av
Musica.
Musica.
Yeah, yeah. I also agree it's a dumb name, but
Okay, I don't think GGO's get locked though.
I don't think GGO's as much of a lock as Eurocamp is. If I'm being real, I think
GGO's
honestly,
as
the
much of a
Eurocamp
lock
is
as
more.
Fairy Tail is.
I only put it as a
I think
lock
Eurocamp's
because we've
more-
gotten almost every other Sal.
But yeah, like Eurocamp though is like actually a pretty popular IP in the West as well. So I do think it'll come. I think it's only like a matter of time. But I do think all these like sequel sets are like guaranteed. They've gotten a lot better since Abuda 2
Mob 2?
of giving us sequels.
Bro,
Yeah,
I
okay.
want Mob 2 more than anything. I love Mob Psycho.
Mob is probably the English exclusive that would benefit the most from another set, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, but where's my Fairy Tail in the maybes?
yeah.
Oh,
there's
maybe.
Fairy Tail, there's
FT.
Fairy Cry.
I forgot
FT
about
100,
Fairy
right? FT 100, yeah.
Yeah, one.
How did you-
100-year quest.
Carmen, you topped with Licorice. How did you not write that down?
Oh, maybes? I think that's more of a. Is LRC?
I mean,
Oh,
it's
program?
we have Lycra Echo. Like it's like
Yeah.
probably.
I think
Yes,
it's
it's a
more of
maybe.
a. It might actually be more of a lock. I would not be surprised.
I
if they
think
announced
it
Lycra
is a
Echo next-
lock. Like, why wouldn't
I just
they?
think anything that's a sequel aside from Fujimi and like GGO is like probably pretty safe. I just don't think
those
the
two sets has
GGO
been a long time since they.
Yeah,
came
it's
in
been
English.
really long, and they didn't. You know, I actually think GGO
Fujimi
sold
one,
pretty well.
Fujimi one did not sell well.
Did it not? I feel like I saw a lot of people
No,
playing it.
Fujimi. Remember, Fujimi and GGO were
No,
all
Fu-
before the COVID spike. So
Yeah,
it's
but
hard
I
to
just- well,
say. It's
I mean,
hard to
I
say
just
'cause of that.
remember going to
Fujimi is the
Toronto.
hardest person to tables for nowadays.
No, Fujimi was dog shit, but at least GGO, right? GGO, I do remember pretty clearly at the two events I went to that year. There was a decent amount of people playing GGO, and I remember
Oh,
I gassed
GGO
up
was
GGO
everywhere.
really hard.
GGO was
Yeah,
everywhere
GGO,
that year.
there was a lot of people playing that deck when it came out.
Even like the first weekend it was legal, like in White Plains. That was our first event ever. We
Yeah,
played against
there was a lot of
GGO.
people there. I remember.
Yeah.
I didn't play against like any of it, but like I saw it. I saw it there for sure.
Okay, but yeah, remember the amount of people who are playing back then are probably like 25% of the current player base now.
I mean, White Plains was still like one of the highest player based events. I think that was like I don't know if Voice Tea Time was around back. I don't think it was, right? But
Not
I
in
want
the
to say it was
form
at
it
least
is
like
now.
120 something or other. Oh no, BCS 2019. It's here.
Any
Does
other
it- does it have
wishes?
Yeah, hear me out. Write down Gakumas. This will
That's a-
totally
Oh
come
no,
to
she
English.
didn't
That's a
have
hard
player
hope.
count.
We're gonna get one of the idol sets out of Gaku or Love Live.
We're most likely to get another Love Live set.
Is there anything else
Yeah,
we want?
I think Hasu is like
for
Wait, it's hot-
for a set
Hasu have-
with
It's Hasu.
support.
Hasu no Sora. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Wait, does
I think
Hasu
that's
have
more
anything on
likely
the
than
English side? Like, not Weiss.
it's another Love Live set, bro.
No,
But,
he's talking about like the
they don't
game.
have,
The
like-
game does not
Oh.
exist
There's
in
like no,
English.
there's no like
No.
Hasu game. There's no like Hasu anime.
Isn't Hasu just an anime?
No,
Hasu
they
is
don't
like
even
a-
have an
like a
anime yet.
YouTube
They're just
series.
VTubers.
Oh, they're just VTubers.
Oh, you know what? Heavens Burns Red.
Oh yeah, no, HBR.
Yeah, that the
HBR is
English game
actually in
came out,
English.
what, a
Well,
month
they
now?
have to catch up though because they
Oh,
have two
God.
sets.
Yeah, but HBR1 is so fucking mid.
Yeah,
gonna be like
HBR1 is
Saikano.
mid.
Yeah, I know.
You have
They
to
would.
buy into this mid ass fucking set to get to the actual like decent one.
Nah, man, dude, we have the best early play healer in set one though.
Well,
It's like
if we're gonna
$40.
put HBR, where's
Yeah,
the
but
set?
Yuka's gonna come out first, so Yuka's the first one now.
Oh,
So we're gonna call it a Yuka instead of
Yuka.
what's
oh
her
my
name, Hina?
gosh.
Yuka Supreme.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're playing HBR. Where's our Uma?
No, I'm
We're
good.
never
man.
getting
I don't want to
Uma.
wish for
If we
Uma,
didn't-
dude.
If we didn't get Uma
Yeah,
already, if we
Dude,
didn't
I
get,
bought so many.
Okay,
have
but
so many
Uma's
Uma
getting
foils.
English game, and Uma is in Shadowverse.
I bought so many
Yeah.
Uma foils. Do not wish this upon me.
If
I
we're
don't
not
wanna buy
getting
it.
Uma- yeah, if
They
we're
missed
not
a
getting
real
Uma,
vote for
we're not
Uma.
getting it. All right. Anything outside of sets, hopes, dreams, things
A
people
trio.
want?
I mean, like
Trios?
trios, right? Write down trios.
Yeah,
Trios.
Summerfest.
I just need to
Okay.
see. I'm really
LRC, whoa.
hoping. I'm really hoping they announce trios at this next
Heaps trios,
English
please.
announcement. But they might wait till the
Flower
end of the
Rose
season.
for English.
What if they? I don't know, dude. How about this one as like different? How about local events, title cups, theme cups, etc., with actual like
Prizing?
deck building. Well, they have actual prizing, like those
Oh,
pro
like
Real
actual
deck
with
deck
actual
building?
deck building constraints.
Yeah, not just like in
I
Canada,
don't think that'll work.
they would queue random decks at these theme cups, and if they could make any half-assed like connection to it, it's like, all right, good enough, man.
Bro, we don't
And I just
put
think it's
any
so
Yeah, I can play
restrictions. We don't
Chainsaw
put
Man
any
because
restrictions.
Makima
Yeah,
voices an
they went to
idol.
like what is it, the fucking like idol cup or whatever, and somebody played Overlord, and they're like, yeah, bro, because Ainz is my idol.
Yeah.
So like,
Okay, for
That's
I
so
mean,
good.
there's no there. The
You know, one of
problem
those,
is
I'm
like
Ainz is my Oshi, therefore idols.
separate,
Fine.
maybe separate from actual locals.
Wait, can we have these local events also count to these 8-hit wonders, please?
Oh
Do
yeah.
they not?
No, yeah,
No!
yeah.
You not.
No.
No,
Even
I
Top
miss
Challenge. Top Challenge does
Special,
not count either.
local.
Bro,
That's actually crazy.
I
Make
missed 8-hit
special
wonder by
local
one
events
local.
Count
Because you played in a
toward
fucking theme cup or something.
Well, no, I went to a regional and that didn't count for my 8-hit wonder.
event count redemption. Is that how we
Like-
word that?
Yeah, like especially with the new one. The new one's like the Oshinoko PR too, right?
I want more Bushi
Yeah.
Navi flair.
At least that one is.
Yeah, just be like the Bushy Navi flare.
More
I'm a
Bushi
little
Navi
glad-
players.
I'm really
no,
glad
no,
that
he's
this
talking
new...
about that's the event. For
Well, for the
Jeez.
8-hit wonder, which also gave you the PR.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
I
very
want
glad
more
that the
flair.
new Bushinabi PR isn't a fucking new exclusive card for Oshi. It's just the new art.
Yeah, no, that being the one for
Bridget
Guilty Gear was
is so
so
fucking cringe.
that was so troll.
What
Yeah,
is the one for
the
this?
Bridget
even
being
the vanilla
I
gold
think the
is
Ruby's
cringe.
just a
Oh,
memory
the
kick.
vanilla door. Wait, the vanilla door is also cringe. It's the magazine PR art of the Ruby with the ice cream, the memory kick.
yeah.
But
Wow,
that's
that
like
was
that's
just
fine.
regular local PR.
Was Ruby locals? Oh no, Kano.
Yeah.
Kana
No,
was the
Ruby was
PR.
the magazine one,
Kana
wasn't
is
it?
local PR. Kana's the local PR for
No,
sure.
for us, Kana is the local PR. For
Yeah.
It's
JP,
different?
Oh, JP Kana was also a PR pack.
Oh,
PR.
sure.
I'm pretty sure Ruby was in the magazine shit because you got it for
No,
going to the
in Japan, Ruby was you had to go to
that event. It was that
yeah,
Weiss event because they were doing
it's
it
not
as
Weiss
I was
event,
leaving
it was
Japan.
Jump Fest.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
Jump Fest. Yeah, because that was happening as I was leaving Japan. Like the day or two after I left, that happened. So I missed my chance to get the Ruby PR, and I was like, fuck. Not that it mattered, but
Wait, so
I
how
think
is this
that-
Ruby not in English? It's not.
it's the 8-hit wonder PR.
Yeah, it's 8-hit wonder.
Is it actually? They're doing that
Yes.
again?
Yes.
Yes, they announced it. It's
Yeah,
8-hit
it's
wonder
now the
PR.
8
At
star
least
one.
it's a reprint. So
Yeah, instead of a brand new card. How about we get a caravan outside of Southeast Asia? That'd be really cool.
caravan
what?
outside of South.
So anything, just something that's like, oh hey, check out how to play this game. Let's get new players.
They did it at Gen Con. Gen Con
Did they?
actually.
Okay.
Yes. Gen Con had a Bushi area, and they taught people. They did rotating like it was literally just like every 45 minutes to an hour. They did a how to play for Vanguard, Shadowverse, Weiss. They just ran them.
That makes sense.
As
That's
long
probably
as-
the best
As
time.
long as they could get 4 to 6 people, they would run it.
I guess
and,
I'll
like, they
put
were getting 'em.
more caravans. I'll put that.
Yeah, they were getting them, and it was pretty nice to see. We were actually seeing people that were like, "Oh, this game's pretty neat." Like they the way they did it was kind of stupid. It was there was just literally 8 decks on the table, and it was you sit down. It's all right, pick a deck, face down, just grab the deck, and it's you got a random TD. So it was Guilty Gear, MyGo, Spy, and let me tell you, those TDs, they're not created equal. Well, things like Guilty Gear and MyGo were so much better than things like Spy.
Bro, if someone got the free run one, they'd just win.
Yeah. I mean, MyGo was broken.
I
but MyGo
that's
had
top tier.
All right. Any other hopes and dreams?
Not really.
Side events,
Yeah.
they brought back side events, but
They started. Didn't they do I mean, they're doing a little bit better with the free fight now. It's getting a little less cringe. Free fight
Yeah.
in trios was so bad, man. Free fight
Oh,
in
yeah.
trios felt like it took you literally the entire. I basically had to scrub the event because it was play your game, wait in the giga fucking long line, go sign the paper. Now they actually have judges walking around the free fight area and just doing the signs for you, so you don't got to keep going into this giant line. It was so much better.
yeah.
God bless.
Well, stuff they could probably still work on for that, but
Yeah,
they've
for
been
sure.
getting better.
All right.
If they
I think-
could
And
somehow
Vanguard had
implement
that
this
event.
now, I think it would be better.
I was kind of jealous.
Yo.
Vanguard had V premium side events. I wish we had side events.
English AGRs.
Eventually.
Yo,
maybe.
V3 is dying though. They
Oh,
already
wait,
announced
yeah,
that it's
English-
dead in Turkey.
What did you say,
Yeah, what the
Kevin?
heck are they gonna do? AGR.
Yeah, English AGRs.
No, I don't want English AGR. Do you want English AGRs?
Well, no.
Maybe.
Oh, we got the Starlight Rares in English.
I will never buy AGRs.
Well, we
but
already know like
It's
like,
pretty interesting.
Nikkei has no AGR. Right?
Seeing,
Nikkei is the
seeing
first
the,
AGR
prices.
set in English.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nikkei will not get AGR.
Nikkei already confirmed to not have an AGR. But I
Well,
guess
it's
that
not
doesn't
100%,
necessarily
but
mean
it's like 99% confirmed.
No, they announced it, right? It's because there's one less foil in Nikkei.
Yeah, that's why I said it's
English.
99%, like 99.999%.
I mean, yeah,
It's not
I don't think it's happening.
They
Unless they
didn't
change their mind
explicitly
last
said
minute.
there's no AGR yet.
Yeah.
they
Unless they change it
basically-
last minute.
Heavily implied there's no AGR.
I think AGRs would be good because it would push that collector thing that we already have here. Like we already see how I don't know if you guys noticed, like if anybody here besides like me and like Kevin and Carmen noticed how ReZero is priced in Japan because of the REM AGR. But you were getting a playset of ReZero 3 for 60 USD
Oh, that's so
in
good.
Japan.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Because people were just opening it for the REM AGR, the actual base rarity. That is probably the lowest I've ever seen for a 10 double R playset.
Especially a
wasn't
set
a
that's
bad
like
deck.
for a popular IP, and that deck is good. Like, crazy.
Insane, $60, and I think Nikkei is also like pretty cheap.
I
I think I saw people selling a playset for like people were selling playsets for like $100. For Nikkei, which I think is pretty nuts. And in general, like it's so crazy.
Yeah. All right.
I think one of my biggest wish though for, as I say
what?
every year, more event coverage. Either
Yeah.
streams.
Oh yeah, that would be
Most
interesting.
ideally
Vanguard having their
streams.
stream and Vanguard having a stream in
Streams.
Philly made me a little salty. I was like,
Streams,
then-
reporting, etc.
also Houston didn't stream Weiss; they only streamed Vanguard. Despite
Yeah.
streaming Weiss the year before.
I
which
wish
was
I
pretty
had.
sad.
I wish Gordon and I got our finals game streamed. That would have been really funny to have on camera.
That was such a cringe, dude. You guys are so cringe.
Funny.
The both of you are literally cringe.
And you have a finals game where everyone around the table was laughing. I thought was very
I'm
fun.
not gonna lie though. If Gordon had won and he had to play Weiss, I would have felt very bad for him
Yeah.
because he did not want to play Weiss.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for fourth place because fourth place will no longer get the free invite. Passed
Wait,
down.
why? No, they got it.
No, if Gordon won.
Wait, why wouldn't they have gotten it if Gordon won? Gordon didn't have. Oh, because he didn't. Yeah, wait, why wouldn't they have gotten it?
Because
I told them-
he'll be gaining an invite.
I told them that if they can pass it down, pass it down. But they're still discussing that. So last I
Oh,
heard.
did they not confirm if they were gonna do it? Okay. 'cause,
Yeah,
like-
no, they
because
said they're
Gordon
still
already
working
had-
out whether they're gonna like a couple things, whether they're gonna like recomp my
Well, no,
flight or
I
whatever,
think
because I had to book
Gordon-
my own.
Yeah,
some
I think
reasons.
Gordon could have, very reasonably still had his pass down because a sponsored invite is still an invite. You're just taking the sponsorship and giving the invite down. No, wasn't the whole thing that it was like until Carmen was cringe, it was like guaranteed that the fourth place was gonna get the invite.
Or no, I wasn't
I
being
don't remember
cringe.
Connor saying that,
but
but I might have been
Yeah,
misunderstood.
that's what Gordon was telling me.
no, we knew that because Gordon had already made it, that everybody was getting an invite, like unpaid.
Yeah, I think Connor had even
guaranteed.
said it to us too.
Uh,
if
Connor
I'm not
told us like
mistaken.
all of you have your unpaid invite locked, so like the pressure's kind of off. And we were like, oh okay.
Except now maybe they don't because of Carmen, but
Well, no. They still get everybody gets their unpaid. I told them that they should pass it down.
the sponsored invite.
I told them to pass down the sponsored invite if possible,
But then we get passed down to Gordon.
and they
He
said
doesn't
they're
want
still
it.
working on it. And I said, well, yeah, I don't exactly know how it works, but I had to book my own.
Whatever.
for
That's not
personal
your
reasons.
problem.
I have too much travel anxiety. I have to travel with my travel group. But...
That's not your problem. It's okay. You're free.
All right. Well, I think that is good for hopes and dreams. I think we had a pretty productive discussion tonight. Thank you all for being on. Thank you all for taking time out of your holiday week to meet up here and talk about this card game that we all waste thousands of hours of our lives playing. Hope you guys had fun. Always fun to do these end of every year. I think we had some good meta discussion despite not trudging through a full tier list. Talking about things going over the year, especially for a year that I think a lot of people mainly thought went like a little slower, a little bit less happenings, but we did have a lot of things change and there were a lot of things to talk about. Thank you all for being on. Colton had to step out, but I'm going to start with Clock Tower. Do you guys have any shout outs outside of course, your channel, which I will have linked?
Just that we're doing the Christmas charity live stream on the 29th and 30th.
Yep.
And we're raising money for the Project for Awesome. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to really seeing everybody here in this stream again.
Yep. Can you
So-
just resend me
so,
the
yeah.
dates that what time you had me set up for? Unless you haven't decided that stuff yet, because I just need to put it back in my calendar. So once you know
Yep.
your schedule.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
always a
We're
lot
gonna
of
send
fun.
some of that information out probably today. So.
All right, fantastic.
Yep, a lot of fun. I had to change my scheduling, but I will also be on that as well. Those are always a lot of fun. I look forward to it every year. Braden, any additional shout
Yep.
outs?
Shout outs to the West Michigan crew as always. So they're always a good crew. So, and let us know if you ever see us at like Chicago, Toronto, Philly area.
Oh yeah. All right, Aaron, you're next up. Shout outs
Uh,
outside Ohio White Shorts.
Yeah, shout out to Paul's Gamer Zone in Akron and the Warp Gate in Columbus because they are two surprisingly rapidly growing groups with a lot of good people and players. So they are really cool if you're ever in town or would want to drive.
I can vouch for that. I drive
Yeah,
multiple
the Ohio
hours
people are pretty neat.
most
Yeah, dude,
weekends
yeah,
to come hang out and play with you guys. And you guys are always like, Carmen, you drive so far. And I was like, well, I legitimately like coming out there to hang out with you guys. So,
Also, because Carmen doesn't have a locals.
And
as
you,
much
I
anymore.
still have a locals. I still love my locals, but
And
they
Carmen
are
always
more
shows up
they
as
are
well.
more focused on One Piece lately. So it's nice to have a more competitive locals around.
no, Carmen shows up to Paul's and we're like, hey, look at this new person.
Yeah, this new guy. Who's this new guy?
You guys run Saturday locals, right?
We
that's
do.
that's the only problem I had with it.
We have Columbus is Sundays, if you can do Sunday.
Okay then. You might see some more Michigan people.
Oh, yeah. You guys get one of your guys, David, that comes every so often when he's visiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin, Jason.
Kevin, you go first.
Shoutouts to Weiss Tea Time. You can check out my
True.
translations on the website. And then
We love
shout out
Avis.
to the Weiss Discord. Come join and talk with me. I like
You don't
talking in
talk.
there. I do
Shut up.
talk. What the fuck?
He does talk in there.
He sits
I
there
see,
in general,
I see
bro.
Kevin
I
in there
talk
every
more
day.
than you talk, dude. What the fuck?
That's 'cause
No,
I
dude,
talk in the-
Jason.
I talk.
Jason's in there yapping the second there's
Yeah,
anything
bro.
he cares about, dude. Jason
I'm-
posts more walls in that Discord than I think anybody.
Okay, I don't post well. I'm just literally just memeing and
Kevin
as
Kevin
I do on my
yaps in
car
general.
every
I'm there in like the actual meta channels talking. We're different, Kevin. We are not the
day.
same.
What the fuck?
And of course, shout out Strictly Broken and Nova TCG, the best place to get your English and Japanese cards. Oh my god,
Huge.
what's the word?
Weiss Schwartz cards.
Respectively.
Weiss Schwartz product.
Weiss Schwartz product.
Yeah.
And
Shout
then,
out to New Jersey Weiss Schwartz Pog.
yep.
I love
and
my
your Weiss
locals.
Schwartz. Your locals are
New
pretty
Jersey.
cool, gotta say.
My locals are the coolest.
No, mine are.
All right, quick blurb
Really?
about
My
upcoming
locals
content.
like your locals.
My locals would beat your locals, I guarantee.
New Jersey's
we'll
pretty
see.
strong, Aaron.
The-
They're really
we
strong.
have multiple people that have gone to Worlds and topped events multiple
We will
times.
get there.
They're dude.
Yeah,
no,
we'll
but
get there
It
one
was
day.
like
I go
3
to I go to Jersey locals and it is a fucking like competitive slog. Every round is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, our locals
them.
is good, man.
No,
Everyone's
let's just
good.
fight.
And by that I mean it's always fun with good people.
My
It's just
dad
everybody's
can beat
very
up your
very
dad. I'm
good.
just saying.
I want to be on you, Jason. Let's fist fight for stream.
You already did. I won. That's why I'm in your Discord.
No,
now.
like physically. We'll get.
Yeah,
Oh,
we get a
okay.
fist fight on stream.
I'm
Creator
bigger than
clash.
you.
Weiss creator clash.
Nah, I'm scrappy, bro.
He's crappy.
Okay.
He's
Fair
fast. Quick blurb about upcoming content. I know the channel's been like kind of dead. The last song parody was a bit of a deep cut. I didn't expect that one to go over very well, but whatever. People enjoyed it. More set reviews, more deck techs. It's just been really hard, really busy. But of course, I'm no longer traveling for the BCS season, so I have a lot more time, especially now that I'm much more settled into my place. So after the holidays, you can expect content to return to a much more regular schedule. I don't think we're gonna go back to do the things we whiffed. Just because, like, I don't know, what did we whiff? Like Dengeki, Macross.
Frieren?
I already did like a whole video on Macross.
If you
We
wanna do
did
a Frieren deck
with
tech, hit me up, bro.
Frieren. Frieren might be worth doing.
If you want to do a Frieren deck tech, hit me up.
Absolutely.
I already
will.
yapped enough. I have 2 whole videos about it.
Yeah.
But
I was
actually,
gonna
those videos have done insanely well relative to like I think the only video that I have that's still done better than those two is the 8 Standby Hololive video that I did forever ago.
I gotta make a post
Yeah.
about Macross again because like everything in that video is still relevant, and if you want to play Macross, there's like really only one deck in English because you don't have the old stuff. So you're gonna be playing that like
True.
same kind of deck
That one
because you
one
don't have
guy's
the old
list is
stuff.
actually like pretty good. I think
Sukarebo's
the
list,
one
yeah.
the one Ricky is still kind of stupid, and I kind of agree with people's take on that. But
I like the
rest
one
of it
Ricky,
makes a
but
lot of
it's like a
sense.
personal preference thing. It's like
I mean, I think it's very easy to judge that Ricky and be like, why is this even here? And it's like, yeah, it had the juice though. You can argue for it if you actually like understand.
but yeah. I need to make like a what is it, the community posts feature or whatever, and be like, hey, did this a while back, but like this is like the list from across. Everything's so relevant. I put a lot of like examples in here of how to play it. So if you want to learn how to play Macross, there's that. So I will I'll have to make a community post about that.
I also have to start uploading more videos. Brian has been bothering me because he made me record him play do Eurocamp, but I have not uploaded it. It's been on my phone for like forever.
I need to edit my short.
I'm just so busy, man.
Dude, the
I need
Ohio White Schwartz shorts game.
Yeah,
Best shorts game
Carmen
ever.
and I both held up by both moving and events. But
Yeah,
now,
moving into events
Done.
at the same time with also 2 holidays smacked in there,
Yeah.
man.
yeah, it was like probably new year, new channel. I'll start uploading again,
End of
so.
October hit, dude, and my whole life
Yeah,
fucking
look,
went
actually,
into hyperdrive. Like everything.
What is it? I told you, right? The one guy like messaged me about like doing Metafy shit too, and I was like, oh, it'd be kind of neat having Weiss on Metafy. But then and then I told him, I'm like, look, bro, it's like the holidays. I'm
Weiss
busy.
on Metafy would be so cool.
Yeah.
But it'd just be like people paying you $20 to argue with you. Like,
Well, see that too, but I think
Ooh,
it's
I'd do
literally
that.
just it's like the Metafy thing. I'm pretty sure it's just gonna come down to like individual deck building shit. Like it's all it's gonna go like very
Yeah.
general things, like how to deck build or like how to play X deck. That's all a Metafy ever is, right? It's like deck
True.
coaching.
just specific
But-
deck coaching.
And then you sit there and then you tell them to do something and then it doesn't work, and then they're gonna be like, okay, but it didn't work. Why did you tell me to do that? It's like,
And it's like because the thing with White Shirts where they're like, well,
okay,
it
this is
didn't,
a fail case.
it
I
didn't
swear,
work.
every other situation, this would have worked just fine. I promise.
Yeah, very funny. All
Yeah,
right,
$20. They Tula rework in 2024.
bro.
All right, bro, put the money in my PayPal. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what
Hey,
happens.
you can do that with Refresh Point too. Give them $5.
Yeah, they can. Ben and Steve with their deck. They still owe me that standard deck.
Well, that's
for-
because they have to make a standard deck.
I know, yeah. It's the running joke. I was like, when's the standard deck coming, guys? I punted that to them for when they had free time, and they have not had free time. So.
They
Okay,
have
I need us
not.
to do our next.
But
I need to
Ben
do our
is in
next
a
tier
different
list
city
for-
every weekend. He's in
He's
Germany.
not even
right
fucking
now.
Germany now.
Yeah, it's
Country.
like, Ben is literally in a different city on this planet every single weekend. I don't think that man has had a single day of rest since BCS season began.
No.
So he is out there
Yeah,
grinding.
like, I will say I want us to do another tier list again so we can get more subs. I'm down to get paid to do more.
We'd have to do it for
make
JP
things-
because English
Oh,
is
he's
so
talking to me.
stale.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
no.
Yeah,
In general, because I take the $5 bribe to raise the tier of a set.
Oh damn!
What the heck? I could have done that.
That's how.
$5
That's how.
bribe.
That's how.
We got
That's how things get
human.
rated. Dude.
What'll 50
Yeah,
get
yeah.
me?
Yeah,
What?
we got Frank's.
What'll $50 get me?
15 will get you 3 sets bumped up or down, except
Oh my
for
God.
the top 3 decks. You cannot bump Overlord down for $5. We'll just take your $5.
We'll just take
Oh.
your $5. Very funny. All right, and with that, Pittsburgh White Shorts signing off. I hope you all had an incredible year. Enjoy the holidays, and we'll see you in the next one.